We have some breaking news here on Mavericks Today by Chat Sports, as it seems like Anthony Davis could make his return to the court as soon as tonight against the Brooklyn Nets. Welcome into Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. My name is Jeffrey Cooperstein. And before we get into the Anthony Davis update, I do want to ask you guys to hit that subscribe button. And I'll make a deal for you. If we get to 31,700 subscribers by April 1st, we will go live for Mavericks vs. Lakers. Luka's return to the American Airlines Center should be a fantastic game with a lot of theatrics. We're 99 subs away from 31,700. I think we can get there by April 1st. Do your part, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into today's show. I want to start out by saying I don't think Anthony Davis returning to the lineup is a good idea. Now, we'll go through some reasons why the Mavericks and AD himself may think it's a good idea, but I want to start with why they should keep him out here. Improve your draft stock. That's number one. The more games the Mavericks lose, the better their draft pick is going to be. As unfortunate as that may be, this season is already over. There is no chance of the Mavericks winning the NBA title. So losing the rest of the games that you have on the schedule could help you get a better player in the 2025 NBA draft, where the Mavericks do own their first round pick. Reason number two, don't risk re-injury. Like the last time when Anthony Davis returned, it felt like he returned a little bit early. And in the third quarter of that game against the Rockets, where he was absolutely sensational, by the way, he suffered that adductor strain that he's been out with since. Number three, I think it would be extremely beneficial for AD to go into the offseason healthy, be able to work out, ramp up towards the season. And in October of this year, he'll be fully ready to go to lead the Mavericks to hopefully another playoff berth. He's going to be without Kyrie Irving for at least the start of next season. So him having a healthy offseason and being able to shoulder the workload that he's going to have to at the beginning of next year would be absolutely huge. But again, there are reasons why the Mavericks would bring AD back to the court here. Number one, I think it would put butts in seats. People would be excited to go see the Mavericks and go see what Anthony Davis looks like in that number 3 Mavericks uniform. They only got to see it for 2.5 quarters the first time, so I think that would certainly bring some intrigue to the Mavs. Number two, the Mavs need healthy bodies. Kessler Edwards has 1 game remaining. We'll see if he plays tonight. He has 1 game remaining on his 2-way contract. Brandon Williams only has a few more as well. The Mavericks don't have enough healthy bodies to field a roster, so that is reason enough to bring back AD to the lineup. And number three, I think it would give fans some optimism heading into next season to see the talent that Anthony Davis has. No one is questioning Anthony Davis's talent. He is a top 75 player of all time, according to the NBA, and I absolutely agree with that. So I think giving the Mavericks fans some optimism would be another reason to see him return to the lineup. But I do think the Mavericks feel differently. I don't think that they want him to return to the lineup, and it feels like there's already some friction between the Mavericks front office and Anthony Davis himself. I think if it was up to Nico Harrison and up to the Mavericks training staff, medical staff, coaching staff, everyone involved in the decision, I don't think he would return to play. But at the end of the day, Anthony Davis has made it abundantly clear to the Mavericks that he is returning to the lineup. ESPN's Tim McMahon reported that there was some friction inside the Mavericks front office where they were saying they don't want Davis to return. And Davis basically said, F you, I'm coming back. This is my career. They have no say in the matter. I am returning to play. So it sounds like AD could be on the court as soon as tonight against Brooklyn. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I've made my opinion abundantly clear over the last week or so that Anthony Davis should not return to the court. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know. Should AD play again this season? Type Y for yes or type N for no. This will be the pinned comment on today's show, so you may get hit with a YouTube ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And while that happens, go on down there and get your votes in if AD should play or not. We take a look at the Tankathon standings here. The Mavericks currently sit in 12th right now, and they did win that game over the weekend, so that didn't really help out their standings. But it looks like they could finish as high, quote, as high as 9th maybe. That's kind of where I see it standing, and it is absolutely insane that despite the Mavericks basically intentionally losing games for the last 3 or 4 weeks, they are still tied with the Phoenix Suns for 10th in the Western Conference in that final play-in spot. Now, I do think that the Mavs will eventually lose enough games to where they're not in the play-in and Phoenix will overtake them. But the fact that they have basically been trying to lose for 3 weeks now and Phoenix has barely gained any ground on the Mavericks is an indication of how bad the Phoenix Suns are, despite having Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and basically a fully healthy squad out there that they have not been able to catch the Mavericks. But with Anthony Davis returning, maybe there is some optimism that the Mavs could sneak into the play-in. I don't know if that's the best case scenario, but it certainly seems like that's what the Mavericks are trending to do for the rest of the season. We'll talk about Kyrie Irving here on the back half of today's show, but before we do that, I do need to tell you guys about our sponsor, which of course is PrizePicks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. PrizePicks has over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, making daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. March, of course, is basketball season, and don't miss out on any of the real money action with our friends at PrizePicks, the best place to win in over 30 states, including California, Georgia, Florida, and Texas. They put their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. And when my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. Not only is it basketball season, but baseball season is just around the corner with opening day on Thursday. Here are some season-long projections for you. I'm going to take the more on Paul Skeens strikeouts. I'm also going to take the more on our guys Corey Seager, home runs, and Adolis Garcia, RBI. So you can copy my picks, or you can make picks of your own. Just please make sure you do it with our friends over at PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get a $50 bonus when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even need to win to receive that bonus. It is guaranteed. Again, download the app, use code CLNS to get a $50 bonus when you play your first $5 lineup. It is PrizePicks. Run your game. Kyrie Irving took to Twitch last night and kind of dished on everything Mavs, the state of the Mavericks, his injury, the Luka Doncic trade, and whatnot. And he had some really interesting things to say. So let's just hop right in and see what Kyrie had to say regarding the Mavs. This quote I really enjoyed. He said, "Some of the things that were going on in Dallas, like the casket, the fire Nico chants, and these unfortunate situations where you're attacking someone who's just performing a function of the business, that was emotional. It was emotional for a lot of people, and it was emotional for me too. I ain't going to lie to you, I struggled a bit in the first few days." And I do truly believe that Kyrie understands where us Mavericks fans are coming from, because he was closer to Luka than anybody. Luka posted an Instagram story yesterday for Kyrie's birthday saying, "Happy birthday, Hermano," with both of them in Mavericks uniforms. So we know that they're close, and Kyrie understands the Mavericks' love for Luka and where that was coming from. And I really do appreciate that about him. He continued to say, please keep supporting us in a way that is different from before. We need to change up our relationship a bit so it can be built on more positivity, so you guys can really get to know who we are. I'm going into my next year, technically my 3rd in Dallas, or my 4th year, but really my 3rd full year, and I'm looking forward to the teammates that I have. This season has been up and down. It's been filled with injuries. We'd be in a different situation if we were all healthy, and a lot of this would just be noise under the bridge. I'll go ahead and disagree with Kyrie here on that. I don't think that even if this team was winning, that it would just be water under the bridge and everyone would have forgotten about the trade. I feel like people were more attached to Luka, where it was beyond basketball, it was beyond wins and losses. And I still think this fan base would be hurting. Would winning help the team? Absolutely. Would it take some of the pressure off of Nico, off of the front office, off of Anthony Davis and his injury? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, I don't think that winning would have cured all. So I'll disagree a bit with Kyrie here. And he wraps up with this and says, "I know we've all dealt with a lot. I know what we've been going through a lot. But please, just stick with us. Understand that we are here for the long haul to make this thing work. I don't want anybody to focus on playing the blame game. Let's just focus on where we are now. I'm so grateful to be surrounded by a community like Dallas where we love sports." My main takeaway from Kyrie's little monologue there was, it seems like he's here for a while. I don't think he's going to bolt in free agency. I don't think he's going to opt out of his contract. Or if he does, I certainly believe that the Mavericks will reward him with a new deal. And Kyrie is eligible for a 5-year, $213 million max this offseason. Now, I think it would be an extremely big risk giving Kyrie that kind of deal after tearing his ACL at the age that he's currently at. But it wouldn't shock me whatsoever if Nico Harrison gave it to him. It seems like those guys are really tight, and Nico appreciates what Kyrie brings to the table. So it wouldn't shock me if he got that full 5-year max. And from the Mavericks standpoint, they don't really have much leverage, because Kyrie could say, if you don't give me that 5-year max, I am going to go test the market. And the last thing the Mavericks want is another free agency disaster. So it wouldn't shock me if Kyrie signed for another 5 years. I think the absolute earliest Kyrie returns to the court would be Christmas, although I think it's going to be closer to the All-Star break of next season. The All-Star break would be right around 12 months from the injury, so that's kind of where I think Kyrie will return. if he heals like a superhuman, he could be back by Christmas, but I would tend to doubt it. So that's kind of what Kyrie had to say. I thought it was very interesting and just wanted to give that to you guys. I really do respect Kyrie for what he said, and we'll get into that here in just a moment. But I want to ask you guys this. Be the GM for me. Should Kyrie be given the 5-year max by the Mavericks? Type S for sign or type P for pass? To be honest, I think I'd give it to him just because the Mavericks have to. They really don't have a choice. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Should they give Kyrie the max? And I do want to end on this. We absolutely love Kyrie Irving here. I respect the hell out of him for understanding what Mavericks fans are going through, understanding the emotion of everything that's gone on over the last 2 months or so, and really just sympathizing with the fans and their grievances right now. He's listening. He's trying to be a healer, so to speak. And I just really do respect Kyrie for how he's handled everything. Wish him the best in his recovery. And I do hope that he is a Maverick for the foreseeable future. And by his quotes, it sounds like he's not going anywhere. So shout out to Kyrie Irving. We really appreciate you. And I hope you know that Mavs fans are all on your side. That will be it for today's show. Again, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. It's youtube.com/MavsTV. Help us get to 31,700 subs, and we'll do that Mavericks watch party. The Mavs do take on the Brooklyn Nets tonight. If Anthony Davis plays, if anything happens, we will have reaction from that. So stay tuned, and we'll see you soon here on the channel.